Hello everyone and welcome to the 60X Business Show. My name is Kitumaini and together with my guest, we'll have different conversations about business, entrepreneurship and life. This is the show you've been waiting for. Stay tuned. In today's conversation, I have an amazing entrepreneur. She's the founder and creative director of Imagine We Rwanda, which is a publishing house sharing a narrative of Africa through storytelling. And in the studio, she's none than Dominique Alonga. Dominique, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
How are you today?
I'm good.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. So relax, it's going to be fun, it's going to be fun. We'll be spinning the wheel and then one Dom will select a number and from there I'll ask you a question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's do this. What's your lucky number?
5.
5?
I don't think it's going to fall on 5 though.
Let's see. Let's hold it once and see what's going to be.
It might actually, oops, no. Not
Okay, you got 7. Can you tell me more about who is Dominique? Growing up as a kid, what were your dreams and passion?
I don't know. I think I was a pretty regular kid. I loved books. I loved reading a lot. I'm introverted, so I love being in my head. I think I have more fun in my head than in any other space. So I had a lot of fun with that. I have a mother that I love very much. I have 2 siblings. Yeah, and I have a large family, extended family. So I would say that's been my childhood. Yeah. And
as a child, did you have some dreams back then, like, I would like to accomplish this, I would like to achieve this one day as an adult, or maybe as a grown-up in the future?
Yes. I mean, growing up in an African family, the biggest thing is to want to be a doctor. I think growing up I was in a very kind of strict thinking or imaginative way to say, you know, I can only be a doctor, I can only be a dentist or a lawyer. But that started changing when I traveled, and I was like, oh, you know, I can actually be a little bit more than this. And I started exploring that other area of my life, which is what I am today, I would say.
Wonderful. As we heard from Dominique, growing up in being an African child, she was thinking of becoming a lawyer, a doctor, but through traveling, through visiting different other places, there was a little bit of change and different people. Maybe she encountered through a longer journey to learn and enable her to be the person who she is today. And from a business perspective, a lot of business have been affected by the pandemic, I guess yours included. What are the learnings that you've acquired from this pandemic that enable you to move forward?
I think the first one would be to be fluid. To be fluid means that if you have a hint or an idea that something else might work for you or your business, do it, right? So we were very rigid in the way we used to do business, the way we used to even treat customers. Through COVID, we had to start delivery services, which is something that we never used to do before, which I think even after the pandemic, we will continue. Or, you know, we started personalizing books, you know, making a book to a child's name because we thought, you know, kids are locked up, they're not spending a lot of time with their friends, so what would make them feel special? So we're translating most of our books into personalized books for parents to be excited. So I would just say, like, of course we are still, you know, this is water, our heads are still just a little bit above, but one of the reasons is just to learn to swim. Learn to swim. These are the times, don't give up, keep pushing, and try to find new ideas every day.
Wonderful. Let's spin the wheel for
Yes.
another round of question. You got 7. Let's see if you may get your lucky number. Let's hold it once.
I don't know. Let's see.
Let's see.
Come on.
11. Wonderful. Can you tell me about your entrepreneurship journey? What moment in time you realized that actually I want to venture into the business world? I want to start my own business. And why the focus on book publishing than maybe than fashion, for example?
Yeah. Well, I'm not a very fashion savvy
look
person.
stylish.
You know, by accident.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not. Fashion has never been my thing. I'm trying now to, kind of color coordinate, look good, look normal, but it's never necessarily been my passion. But I never thought that I was going to be a person that would be a business person, ever. Like, that was not my idea. My idea was I was going to be very comfortable as an employee in a pretty big organization, as every child hopes. And then one time, my mom said, there's this thing going on. It was called Reach for Change. You want to try it? Had always wanted to get kids to read. So I was like, let's find a way to get kids to read, because I was just coming back home. I had a lot of energy, and reading changed my life personally, and I know I traveled to several different places, time, spaces, and timelines, and countries, I mean, I know about the 20s, the 1920s. I know about somehow the 2050s, know. So how do you take a child to, let's say, France without them leaving their bedroom? Was the idea, because that culture affects who you become, what you can dream about, what you can become. And again, growing up, here and, with the, having run away, our history has been very interesting to everybody. Reading was an escape that I felt like, we can give it to other people. Yeah. So I thought, let's host a reading competition in Kigali. Yeah. That's it. That was all I wanted. It was,
when was that?
It was 2014.
Okay.
That's all I wanted. I didn't want any special company. So then we went to schools to ask them, can we do this with you guys? And they said, we don't have any books. So we went back and we said, we need to raise books to give to the schools so that we can get the kids to read the books and have the competition. So it was really all about, how can I have this competition to happen? So as we started doing it, we got about 4,000 books from the US, Australia, and Canada. And we wanted to get kids to read those books, right? So we started donating the books. And we had a library at the office, at my office. And so when kids started saying, this is things for white people, nobody in this book looks like me, because, it was books, the Cinderellas, the Snow Whites, all those. Nobody looked like the kids we were serving. So they started telling us that. And that's when we said, why don't we produce books that looks like these kids? Yeah. So that's when we decided to do that. But it was it wasn't an accident. It was just natural progression into what we became today.
Wonderful. What an amazing story. From a book reading competition, then there was a need from the kids that wanted to have characters who look like them, who they could easily connect with, and that was the birth of your company. Yeah. And your business was, you've been running your company since 2015. That's when it was registered. Yes. And you've published more than 8+ books, correct?
20.
More than 20 books, and you've reached out to more than 50,000 people, both young people and adults in Rwanda and outside of Rwanda. What do you think has contributed to your growth?
What has contributed to my growth? I would say my team. Every day I thank my team for believing in a vision when I had no money, when I had nothing. So they've definitely contributed to my growth. We have meetings every Monday, and we usually take 10 to 20 minutes to just catch up a bit, and in those 10 to 20 minutes, we've learned a lot about our personality types. We've learned a lot about who we are and how does that affect us as managers, as employees and employers, And another thing is listening to clients, because without our clients, obviously, we wouldn't be alive today. Yes, we have clients who are complicated, who want the whole world to be on their plates, but we have clients who give you good feedback and they're the boss at the end of the day. They're the ones who pay my bills, my team's bills, so I learned a lot in listening to them. And the third thing is to listen to the times. So where are we as a society? And that affects the way we write or the stories that we welcome. Because I believe as publishers or storytellers in general, in any field, movies, photography and literature, we push the culture currently into a future we want. So if we want, let's say as the case of Rwanda, to be even more unified or to be more reconciled, so we have to start today to write books that shape that future. If we want, like you're doing, we want more people to be entrepreneurs. So you start writing stories about people who succeeded today so that the kid that is 12 will read it and be like, oh, I will succeed too. So reading the times has been something that I learned and has really shaped us,
Wonderful. So as Nikki said, what has contributed to their growth, it is the team, the clients, they do care a lot and listen to them and also listening to time. And talking about reading culture in Rwanda, what do you think can be done to improve the reading culture in the country, and also what can be done within our educational system?
Ooh, that's a tough question. The reading culture is growing. The fact that we're still here 7 years down the road means that something is happening. Because if we didn't have it, we would have closed, bankrupt, dead. So I'm very grateful for Rwandans to be reading today. But one thing that definitely needs to be improved is reading to little kids, reading to little ones, because, grown-ups, God help them. Let's focus. If we train younger children to start reading, they connect reading to affection, they connect reading to spending time with their family, they connect reading to positivity, and it's very easy for them to keep that culture as adults, which is very complicated now because we grew up reading for necessity. So we want to teach people that they can read for leisure, for fun, for relaxation. But that also, again, it's like a chicken and egg sort of situation because the books have to be relaxing and fun for me to think that, so it's like, oh, who started? So we're growing together. And education-wise, I think investing in our teachers is very important. I think our teachers are one of the biggest and most important roles in our society as the Rwandan society, yet they face a lot of challenges and are rarely given a voice. They're rarely given a platform, especially with the role that they have. If you look all the way from their paychecks and above, it's not incentive enough for them to give the very best they can to children. So if we keep that, that's going to be a bit slow in the future of Rwanda. But so I would say let's train our teachers more and let's have more role models.
Wonderful. Let's spin the wheel for another round of questions. You got 7, 11.
Oh yes, I did get 11. I like 11.
And talking about 7-Eleven, I'm thinking about the 7-Eleven.
I know.
Retail shop. What's going to be your next lucky number?
Wow.
You got 7 again. Please spin again. 7 likes you.
5 said no.
Yeah.
That's very sad. But who knows? Maybe at the end we might. Nope.
Who knows? 14. Yeah. Wonderful. As a young leader, you lead a diverse team of people, right? How do you think about the way you lead the organization and also the impact you create in people's life through reading, through learning new things about the different stories you publish? How does that make you feel as a leader, the person who just is behind all that transformation?
Oh, that's a very hard question. I hope I'm doing that you said. You just made it sound you made it sound very, very fancy. I'm hoping that I'm doing a good job. I think as a leader, I'm always very nervous to say, am I doing a good job or not? You know, am I leading in the right way, or am I offending my team? I worry about my team a lot. Because I mean, I spent 8 hours of my life with them. That's 1/3 of my life will be spent with my team. So I hope that I'm creating an environment and a culture that's nice. But it also makes me proud when I see like all these illustrators that have come up, that are having careers, all these authors that are coming up and having careers. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Before the holiday, but Wednesday, one of our authors came and they were like, I'm working towards quitting my job to have this as my main career. And I was like, that's a little bit of pressure, but that's also a lot of hope. So, you know, it's booming, you know, it's booming, and you have, you know, the whole ecosystem, from the bookstores to the illustrators, to the printers. Printers now are okay buying some papers in bulk because they know, you know, we have people who will print. And you have young poets who are coming up. You have all these things. And I'm like, wow, I participated in this ecosystem, in actually creating the ecosystem and making it fun. Maybe, I mean, we have our heroes from the past, the Alexis Kagames and stuff, who wrote. So I'm not saying that we started the writing ecosystem, but making it fun and relatable to young people is something that we did, yes.
Wonderful.
I'm very
That
excited.
is so amazing, the way you painted the picture of it. And my follow-up question will be, how would you define success?
Success for me is going home happy. Honestly, just like what is within me and without, so inside and outside, are connected and are at peace with each other. You know, so am I able to pay my bills and on time, which brings me peace, which brings me, you know, I can sleep. You know, having debts is one of the things that will make you have insomnia. So if what's outside of your life and what's inside is good, that's good. And then the second thing is my legacy, you know. I think at this point, even if I passed away, I would have done a good job with my life. I would have, you know, like I feel like I'm one of those people who will pass away peacefully, like happily. I had fun, you know. Imagine has allowed me to travel several countries to meet awesome people that I never thought I would have met, and to just have fun. I feel like I'm one of those people who get paid to play. It's not fair, but yeah, so that's success to me, you know. Obviously, I want to retire and have a house.
When do you want to retire?
I would love to retire at 40.
Okay.
I would love to be able to afford that, you know. So I'm hoping that my children, if I have any, would still be young. So then we can grow up together and have fun together. You know, I don't want to abandon my children. Well, not abandon them, but be sucked into the busyness of life and not spend a lot of time with them. I want to be able to give them the best of time, you know, and the best of my presence.
Well, that sounds to be a good plan.
Yes.
Future kid, if you have them, I'm sure they're gonna love you. And I would like to know, as an entrepreneur, you know, sometimes the journey it's very, very hard. Oof. Do you have a moment in time running your business or being in this journey and you felt like, damn, I want to quit, this is too much? And how did you felt back then?
I think I think it's just literally just maybe from 2019 and above, that's when I wasn't trying to quit, you know. But if a month has 30 days, there's 3 days of wanting to quit in that month. You know, there's 3 days of like, okay, I'm done. Okay, you know, I've wanted to quit because entrepreneurship, as much as it's fun, it's very costing to your mental health. You know, you have a team that relies on you. I have people who live off of the company, who need to be paid, who need to pay their bills. And when you're not able to take care of them the way you want to, that can be costing to your heart, yeah? And for an entrepreneur to be successful, you receive so many no's. You know, my formula used to be, for 1 yes, you have to receive like 50 no's, or even more than that. And I'm not strong, so, you know, you can give up by the 30th no, you know. So every month we receive at least 5 no's, you know. And those no's are hard, and especially when those no's have to come with money, you know. And you have also, there's another thing that maybe entrepreneurs aren't talking about very often, which is the imposter syndrome. You constantly feel like you're failing. You constantly feel like this is not good enough, and that can also cost your mental health. So, you know, not having money can make you want to quit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Okay. As we heard from Nikki, she talked about all the things. There is no addition that I can add on that. And Nikki, you've won a lot of awards and competition in Rwanda, both in Rwanda and outside of Rwanda. What is your tips and tweak into convincing investor or someone to invest in your business that maybe other people can learn from you?
Yes, I would say one of the biggest things that I've learned is that, yes, you have to be known. Yeah, people need to know that you know what you're doing. But then again, it's a chicken and egg situation. So make sure you are working on your products. A lot of entrepreneurs, after winning the first award, you get award addiction. So you apply to all these grants and all, you know, you get sucked into that, and you forget that you actually have a business to run. Your business literally becomes applying for the next grant, the next award, the next, because their application, out of all the awards I've gotten, it's maybe 2 to 3% that was a call like, we know you, can you come? Most of them is you who say, oh, I do this, would you consider me? Yeah. So sometimes you forget. So I would say to entrepreneurs, know when to stop. I wouldn't say don't do it. Know when to stop. Know when to stop getting that addiction for awards and grants, and really take time to work on your product. And because one of the best deals we started to get was after we started working on our product and making sure that it's high quality. I would also say, you know, put yourself out there still. Like, you know, I'm here with you, Christian. I don't know who's on the other side of the screen who might look at it and say, oh, let me check out Imaginary on social media at Imaginary IWR. You know, you don't know who's behind the screen. So do these things. I would say to entrepreneurs, you're here. There's so many people who are doing what you're doing, podcasts. The New Times is always trying to highlight entrepreneurs. Call them. There's no shame in calling. Yeah. There's no shame in asking for help. There's Inhomoko that's doing, you know, the Urumuri. Go to these things, but also know when to step back and work on your business. And also have mentors. I've had some of the best mentors in my life. Wow. And they've really helped me. Wonderful.
As we heard from Dominique, seek for help. There is no shame to go and ask for help. Find mentors and build your network, because that will be very, very important. Also, seek and find opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities that you can tap into that can enable you to go further. Let's spin the wheel for another round of questions. You got
can I
7.
Spin like the opposite way, like this? Yes. Maybe I can be luckier.
Got 7, 11, 14. What's going to be your next lucky
5.
number?
Please, come on. You asked me which my favorite number was, and then I'm not getting it.
Oh.
I might.
Okay!
Yes, we did it.
Nikki got to 5 with number.
That was good. That makes me feel so
happy.
We
did it, Nikki.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Wonderful. So, let's talk about the future of your industry.
Yes.
And how you're preparing yourself about that. There is a little bit of shifts between physical books to soft copy and digital content.
Yeah.
And the beauty about that, you've already curated and pivoted your product to the digital
Yes.
contents. Can you tell us more about that and what is your plan to go into that, that area?
Yes, I'm very grateful that you asked this question when I have already started, because I would have looked like a complete person that does not know what I'm doing. But yes, yes, the future is definitely going digital. So ebooks, audiobooks, you know, short books that, you know, people are spending a lot of time on their phones, in their ears, in their heads. So how do we insert ourselves there? Another thing is AI. You know, AI is also coming in strong. So we are also looking into ways of making sure that we are on top of the game with that. So some of our books are augmented, actually. So you can scan them and have that augmented reality, virtual reality experience with some of our children's books. So I'm very excited about that. And then we, as you said, pivoted our first self-publishing application where we put on some of the books by our authors. We would love to move to the next step, which is audiobooks, and then also payment systems. You know, I mean, you probably have heard of Bitcoin and all those fancy blockchain words that we're still learning. So my hope is that as Rwandans, as a society, we actually take the lead in adopting these new strategies rather than, you know, being forced into them. Because then you have a say, you have a leadership when you've started something. Yeah.
Wonderful, and it's also important when it comes to adopting innovation. If you're one of those early adopters, you can set some rules of the game than just coming late and you find some structures in place and then it's kind of harder to adapt. And it's great that you have the plan into being one of the leader in some of this amazing technology and adjust it to your products. Other than business, we'd like maybe to get to know Dominique as a person. What drives you to go to work every day to do the work that you do as a person?
I'm very boring as a person. That's already set. But what drives me is definitely my team. My team drives me. Sometimes we have some exciting projects. You know, this week we had a very exciting new project because we're trying, as I said, to personalize most of our books. So that's like, but that high is not constant, right? The high of like new project, oh my God, new exciting, that's very rare. So what stays is also routine. I think I'm a person who likes routine. I get very thrown off my wheel when I don't have a routine. So I know like I have to wake up at 7, get to breakfast at 8. Like I like that, so that also helps me because even in holidays, I genuinely don't know what to do. I look at my screen. So I would say routine helps me, and also knowing that I'm building something for my country. I am very proud to be Rwandan because it just the legacy that we're carrying, the sense of resilience, the sense of strength. So knowing that I'm contributing to that makes me very happy.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's so deep and amazing. And for young entrepreneurs watching now, what are the things that you've learned through along your journey that you had no clue back then when you started?
Oh, heck yes. That's such a good question. I have learned to, you need to believe in yourself. Everyone is finessing. Finessing is, everyone is overselling themselves, So jump on that boat. Oversell yourself as well, Obviously, kind of do what you promised you will do. But growing up, I underestimated myself a lot and overestimated everybody else. And that hurt me because I would say, oh, they're smarter than me, they're better than me, so I will undercharge my services, I would undercharge my products. So when we learned, one of the people that really made me very proud is Moses, Twahirwa Motions.
Shout out to Moses.
Honestly, every day, every day. He changed the game of entrepreneurship when he said, you know what, I don't care. My dress is going to be 900,000. I don't care. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't, but I'll stay here and I'll do what pleases me. And the first time, I am one of those people who are like, what is this guy doing? But eventually what I learned was your people will find you. Defend yourself, find what's good for you, find what's good for your team, find what's good for your company, put it out there, you will find your people. So I'm very grateful for Motions to teach me that lesson. Every day at the office we're like, would Motions do this? It's like, what would Motions do? Yeah? We did those bracelets. So very big shout out to him. And learning, throughout my journey, I learned everybody else, well, not everybody, but most people, at least the people I look up to, are improving their skills every day. What am I doing? You know, I gotta be on that boat, improve my skills, be in the future. So I learned that, and have self-esteem. Know when to ask for help, and know when to tell people I'm good, and that's a good balance to have.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Let me wrap up this conversation with my last question. For a young girl watching now, trying to find herself in her life and all the adulthood thing, what is one word of advice you could give to that young girl?
Ooh, oh my God. It's going to be tough. You know, the one word I would say is it's definitely going to be tough. As a woman, as a girl, it's going to be tough. For it to be less tough, find mentors, and hopefully you fall on really good ones, you know, but find mentors who have been ahead, who have made the mistakes that, and they will, you know, if there's a hole, someone who fell in the hole will really tell you, listen, don't fall in there, you know. Don't fall by yourself when someone can tell you where to jump. So mentorship is something that we don't encourage people that much, that we really should, because it's really where it's at, you know. Find somebody who will listen to you, find a community of young women or women your age who will listen to you, and read, you know. I would really recommend, read what women are doing, read what your fellow women are doing, and then if you find somebody, we're in the digital age, if you find somebody who really resonates with you, find a way to get in touch with them. Most people who have reached a place in life, I always say, I reached out to Madame Radegonde Ndejuru, who is currently the advisor of the First Lady. I was just like, look, I'm a young person. I feel like I'm very dumb currently. Could you give me some life advice? They genuinely always say yes. And they're there for us. They're like our aunties, our moms. They're there for us. So don't be afraid to ask for help. They will help us. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Nikki, for all those pieces of good wisdom. We are coming to the end of this conversation, and my guest was Dominique Alonga, who is the creative director of Imagine We Rwanda. The conversation continued on social media using the hashtag 60xbusiness. Remember to tag me. My handle is at Christian Kitumaini. Thanks a lot, Dominique, for making it. Remember to wear your mask and wash your hands often, and be safe, and I see you down the road.